Alright, today we're going to work in Chapter 21. We're going to cover high-low, we're going to cover break-even, and we're going to cover target profit. So the first thing we're going to do is the high-low method. The high-low method is not difficult, it just requires a few steps. Alright, so step one, as you can see here, is to find the high and low in each unit and in each cost. So I'm going to say that we're going to say that this one is the low and this one is the high, and low and high. Alright, so the next step is for us to determine the difference in those. So we're going to take 18,100 and 8,100, and I'm actually going to subtract those two. Then I'm going to take the difference between these two. So I'm going to take 690,000 and 525,000, and I'm going to subtract those two from each other. Alright, so now I have the difference. Okay, the next step is to put this into my variable unit cost formula. So I'm going to take $165,000 divided by 10,000 units, which is what I got up here from this right here. Okay, the answer to that should be $16.50, and this is variable cost per unit. Okay, now let me back up a little bit. The reason that we are computing this this formula is because these costs up here at the top are a combination of both fixed and variable costs. So out of that 525,000, part of it's going to be fixed and part of it's going to be variable. A variable cost fluctuates, a fixed cost stays the same. So what we're doing is we're going to try to take the 525,000 and split it into two pieces and say this is the variable, this is the fixed. So the steps that we're doing here are going to take us to that. So number one, find the lowest and the highest in each category, subtract to find the differences. Put that into your formula for variable cost. So this is basically saying that $16.50 per unit would be considered to be variable. Alright, so if you have 8,100 units and $16.50 of that is variable per unit, that will give you well, hang on. What is 8,100 times 1650 is 133,650. Okay, now we go up here and we say, okay, so what if I do 18,100 units at 1650? That number is, if I calculated that right, 298,650. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so what this is representing is total variable. Alright, so we are saying that out of that $525,000 up here, that 133,650 is variable. So what would be fixed? So you're going to take the total cost, 525,000 minus 133,650. And that is going to give you 391,350. Okay, now we look up here and we say, well, the whole cost was 690,000. And we determined right here that the variable was 298,650, and when you do that, you should get 391,350. And so that ends up being the same, $391,350, $391,350. These are fixed costs. Fixed is going to be fixed no matter what. It's going to be the same no matter what. So the variable changes, the fixed stays the same. Okay, now we're going to move on to break even. It says Elrod Incorporated sells a product for $75 per unit. The variable cost is $45 per unit, while fixed costs are $48,000. Okay, our formula for break even is fixed costs divided by unit contribution margin. All right, so fixed cost is given to us, $48,000. Yes, $48,000, that's right. Okay, now we're going to divide this by our unit contribution margin. Unit contribution margin is the difference between your selling price and your variable cost per unit. So it would be 75 minus 45. All right, so 480,000 divided by 30. And that should be, I think it should be divided by 30, would be 1,600 units. Okay, so what that is telling us is that we would need to make 1,600 units in order to break even. Not make any money, not lose any money, but that tells us how much we need to be making in order just to break even. All right, the last one I'm going to talk to you about is target profit. This is going to tell us how many units we need to make in order to make a desired profit. The one before was break even. We're just trying to not lose any money. This one is saying, hey, I'd like to make some money. So this says that we're going to sell it for 150. The variable cost per unit is 110. Fixed costs are 200, and the desired profit is 50,000. Okay, so our formula is very similar to break even. Target profit is fixed cost plus how much money you want to make. What's your desired profit divided by my unit contribution margin. So my fixed costs are 200,000. My desired profit is 50,000. Okay, so that gives me 250,000. And we're going to divide that by my unit contribution margin. And remember, unit contribution margin is selling price per unit minus variable price per unit. So when you do that math all out, that should give you 6,250. So 6,250 units need to be produced and sold in order to make a target profit of $50,000. So hopefully that's just some highlights from chapter 21. If you're still confused, let me know. Thanks.